This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy James. This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey guys, you are watching Wrestling with Entertainment, and it is Ryan the Full Donovan here, coming at you with a podcast about my career and everything. So hope you guys enjoy the listen, and we are going full Donovan tonight, so can't wait.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Ryan Full Donovan.
How we doing, guys? Thanks for having me on. I'm excited. This is going to be really fun.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you on as well. And can you tell us where you'll be going full Donovan next event-wise?
Next event-wise, we've got some stuff coming up at the CNE, so that's going to be quite exciting. We've got some fair shows coming up as well. North Bay, August 22nd is the next show for me. To be, North Bay, Ontario for Northland Wrestling. Going to be exciting, going to be a good show.
And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
So social media, I've got Facebook, just Ryan Donovan, and then on Instagram at @full_Donovan. Merchandise-wise, you can pick up pictures. We've got 8x10s for sale, and I'm also going to be launching some T-shirts coming up, so stay tuned for those. New designs are in the works as we speak.
Perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox.
Perfect.
All right. Let's get into it. You work for Premier Canadian Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company?
Yeah, it's great. I've been there since the beginning. It was an upstart company. They've been about a year now. They've had some really exciting shows. TD Bank Place last year was booming with, over 1,000 people in the audience. So we're hoping to double that for this year. We had Bret Hart on the show as well, and it was great, a lot of fun. Really good company to work for, and they treated me very well.
All right. Well, a notable name you've been in the ring with is a one Casey Navarro, a wrestler. What was that experience like, being in the ring with him?
Well, so we were doing a show for Destiny Wrestling, and it was snowing like crazy, middle of winter, and he was supposed to wrestle somebody else. I think it was Jason Hotch, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but unfortunately he couldn't make it in. And so I stepped up to the challenge, and it's honestly one of my favorite matches that I've had. On commentary was Aaron Stevens, so that was really cool as well. And Casey was great, really fun to work with, really good creative mind. And I think we worked really well together. I was told that we had match of the night or one of, and Donovan Dijak and people like that were on the card. So it meant a lot to me, and I really, really enjoyed that match.
Now, like you said, it wasn't originally you supposed to wrestle him. So
right.
What was
hard subject to change?
Right. So what was that kind of, experience like to, not necessarily, you know what you were doing and then kind of be thrusted into this, obviously very big high profile match?
Yeah, I mean, I found out like pretty much just before the show because I had said to the promoter, like, if he needs anybody for anything tonight, I'm available. And, I met KC that day and we got along well. We knew a lot of the same people and had trained or wrestled in a lot of the same places, which was really cool. Yeah, so I got the call to go up and to go and do that. And, we started talking about the match and, I wasn't sure planning wise, of course, let him kind of take the lead on that, but he was great and he let me have a lot of good ideas and stuff like that. And I think we put on a really good match and we vibed well. So it was exciting. And sometimes like in wrestling, you just gotta always be ready, to steal a line from Matt Cardona. Always be ready. And I think that's one of the most important things. You just never know. Always bring your gear. You never know what's going to happen. And then, yeah, that was one of those times for sure. And it was exciting. Crowd was hot. I felt like the match was really good. So I was excited.
Do you prefer more time to like prepare, like, knowing who you're wrestling, like maybe like a couple days or a week in advance, or do you prefer to just kind of be drawn into that fire, so to speak?
I think it depends. I think like if you have a storyline and you know who you're going to be wrestling ahead of time, that's good because you can put ideas together and kind of like some things that can further along the story or tell the story of that match. Sometimes that is good because you get a chance to be able to watch their stuff and then see what they do in the ring and how you can, put your character stuff in there or moves in there. And, it's kind of like a puzzle. You do your stuff, I do my stuff, and we just see basically how everything can fit together the best possible. I guess I would prefer to know who I'm wrestling if I had to pick. But either way, sometimes the best stuff just happens out of nowhere, like this match with KC.
Now, another incredible moment in more recent memory is that you got to share the ring with the Sandman over WrestleMania weekend.
I
Uh,
did.
what was that experience like?
That was a whole nother level, man. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be, in the Sandman's last match in any way. Growing up, I started watching, of course, like WWF, at the time, the Attitude Era, I'm 32, so we'll say 98, 99. And when I got a little bit older, I rediscovered ECW and I had gotten like, I think it was the ECW like Bloodiest Matches was like the DVD that I got, and I just loved it. And I loved the Sandman, and I loved Sabu and Rob Van Dam. Those were my three favorite guys from ECW. And when I got the opportunity to be able to do that, I was like, wow, this is exactly where you should be. You know what I mean? I felt like this is exactly where I needed to be. It was a really, really amazing experience. He was super cool, and getting to work with Fonzie as well. I ended up meeting Fonzie actually in the hotel, in the bar, I guess, or whatever, the night before. And, I said, hey, I'm going to be one of the referees in the match tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, daddy, he's like, let me hit you with a chair. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, let's do it. So that was exciting to be up because I knew I'm like, you get one moment, you get one opportunity to show as much as you can in the opportunity that's given to you. So, I just tried to make it as memorable as possible.
And I mean, obviously a very memorable moment. Is that a moment you take in the moment, or is it something that kind of sets in afterwards? Like, wow, I did that.
I think it was, yeah, I think it set in a little bit after. I mean, it's like you're backstage, and, that was like my first time working for GCW, and it's just on a whole nother level. I'm at spring break, and, you're kind of like, oh man, like I'm about to go out and do this. Like there's like 3,000 people there or whatever. And, it's an adrenaline rush. And when you're standing behind the curtain and, you're getting ready to go, you kind of almost don't feel your legs. Like you just sort of feel like you're so amped up, and it's just the whole thing. And then, you go through the curtain and sort of all those nerves go away, and you just kind of slide in the ring, and boom, there it is. And you do the spot. And while you're in it, you can feel it. You can feel the crowd. And then afterwards, when you're sitting there and kind of really take it in, you're like, wow, yeah, I just did that. And that was awesome. It was really, really cool, and something I never thought would happen.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you did get to hang out with the Sandman after the match, no?
Yeah, we because we saw him around and stuff, and there was like the next night, I think it was, there was a show at this place called the Nerd Bar, and I think he was hanging out there after doing a signing maybe or something. But anyway, just connected with him the next night as well, and it was really cool to be able to see him again, and just hang out with him and kind of feel that Sandman vibe.
And you mentioned, working for GCW for the first time. You actually got to compete for CZW back in 2017. Obviously one of the bigger independents, more well known.
Yes.
What was that like, competing for CZW?
Man, I was so young. I was just like, I look back on that, and it's just like, man, I'm just such a young whippersnapper with the world by its bootstraps. There, we had gone down, and they had CZW Dojo Wars, which was basically like talent pretty much anywhere could come in and like wrestle, and they did like Wednesday shows and stuff, and it was at like their school. And they would have people come in, and it would just be, I guess, whoever would come in, talent from all over. And a lot of guys started to hone their craft there. I met MJF there, Joey Janela was there, Leo Rush, Joe Gacy, a lot of guys like that had all come through CZW. And it was cool. I wrestled Jimmy Lloyd and this other guy, Billy. And that was before Jimmy had really kind of taken off into what he is today and stuff. So that was neat. MLJ was like the booker. So he's the one that we would talk to and stuff like that about coming in. And it was one of those moments again, like where, okay, this is where I need to be. This is the trajectory that I should be on to kind of help further my career. And that crowd was brutal sometimes, like they hated the heels. And if you messed up, they would say, can we swear on here?
Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. I mean, like, they would chant, like you fucked up. And it was, you felt the pressure because this was your opportunity to kind of show DJ Hyde at the time and MLJ and, people like that you could hang and that you had something to offer. So it was a lot of pressure, but a lot of fun.
All right. Well, a CCW alumni that you've been in the ring with is one Sexxxy Eddie. Well-known, well-established name. You had a couple of tag team matches with him, but I'd like to know what it was like, finally getting that one-on-one proper match against Eddie.
Yeah, well, so as a kid, growing up and stuff, he used to come to my town that I lived in, I lived in Alexandria, which is it's east of Kingston, and it's a smaller town. And then there was another bit of a bigger town, Cornwall, and they would do shows there. And so when I was very young, I got to see Sexxxy Eddie, I was probably 8 or 9. And I was drawn to him.
We're really dating Eddie here.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, sorry, Eddie. But he's been in the game for a while,
Yes.
and it was so funny too because I remember I had after the show I had bought one of his T-shirts, and it was a robot, and it says "I'm a sex machine," and it says "Sexy Eddie," and I remember buying that shirt, and they only had like an extra large left, so I bought like this extra large. It's so big on me, and getting him to sign it, and I just remember him being like, "Hey, be careful with that at school." So he knew that his gimmick, like, wasn't exactly made for kids, but no, it was really cool. Over the years, just getting to know him, he's a really great guy. He's always willing to do whatever needs to be done for the match to make people look the best they can. And of course, like coming into CZW, and I mean, the story, right? He had the match, and the light tube slit his forearm open.
Yeah.
He drank the blood. He became a legend. And that helped Kevin Steen and Ramy, El Generico, Sami Zayn, whatever you want to call him, really start to break into the United States, which is amazing, and for Eddie himself. So getting to be in the ring with them was an honor. It felt it was really fun. I wanted to do everything that I could in the match, gimmick wise, for him. And I remember him saying, like, you sure you want to do this? Like, they're going to judge you. And I was like, yeah, bring it on, like, grab the deck, whatever you need to do, like it was great. The crowd loves him, and the reaction that you're going to get whenever you work him or work with him. So really super fun time with Sexxxy Eddie. I would love to do that again.
Was that kind of a full circle moment, considering, you saw him, as a child, and then now you're obviously getting to compete against him?
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it feels surreal, like there's those moments where you're like, man, like I saw you as a kid and now I'm in the ring with you. And, it's like you kind of just got to take a step back and, be like, sometimes like we always want, like even this podcast, like you're bringing up things that I did, and it's not that I forgot them, but they're not like super right in my head. And like, it's like you kind of forget what you've done because you're always just wanting to get to that next level. And a lot of like wrestlers, whether it be in WWE or AEW or wherever, and they're always like, it's the journey rather than the destination, and sometimes we just got to like, sit back and be like, man, I've actually done some pretty cool stuff. You know what I mean? Because we always want more. We always got to get to that next level. Got to wrestle this person. Got to wrestle for this company. And we kind of become tunnel vision. So, looking back on it now is really cool, full circle moment. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, talking about, other cool things that you've done. You actually worked as a extra for WWE. I believe you were a security guard for Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu's brawl that they had on Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like? Because, sometimes, those things could be, a little on the crazy side, but having saw that was like the most insane, like, break apart WWE's done in quite some time. So what was that?
We were very lucky. We're very lucky to have that opportunity. That's one in a lifetime kind of thing because it's, it depends on what WWE needs for that night. And I was just very blessed and very grateful to have that opportunity. I had come in, so, going to get extra work and stuff like that and doing seminars and stuff like that. And WWE reached out to me and asked me, which date I would be available for. I gave them all of the dates and stuff, and they had given me a date for, to come and do extra work. And I was at a show that night. And I got an email super late at night saying, if you can get to Montreal, we need more extras. So I, replied right away, and I was like, absolutely, yes, I'm available. And we ended up driving all through the night to get there to Montreal. We got like a hotel. We got like 3 hours of sleep and put our suits on, and boom, we were there. And I had done extra work before, but I had never gotten to be down, like by the ring and stuff like that. So just everything was surreal, when they tell you that, that you're going to be needed and stuff, it's like an adrenaline, man. It's like, oh my God, we're doing this, and I remember, going down and Triple H, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, they were all there putting everything together that they needed for that night. And that was just surreal. Like you're there. That was, again, one of those moments where I felt like this is exactly where I need to be, and this is exactly where I should be. The whole experience was amazing. Everybody was very kind and nice, and it was really cool to be able to have my peers, my friends with me as well, to share in that experience. And of course to go out and do it. And then, when you're backstage, because after you finish rehearsals and stuff, it's just like, you go back and you're kind of eating catering or whatever, but you're so excited that, you can barely eat food. It's almost like Christmas, like you're waiting for Santa. And, so anyway, once it was go time, and you're backstage and Cody comes out and, they're like, okay, we're going to send Cody now. And it's like, boom, it's happening, like, boom. And, when they tell you to go out and you go through that curtain and, you're in front of, 21,000 people at the Bell Center, it is a feeling like I have never experienced in my life. I could have run through a brick wall, and what was really cool about it and sentimental to me was that, growing up, my cousin would always bring me to the Habs games at the Bell Center. So since I was young, I've been going there, and to being able to have a moment like that at the Bell Center, after coming there and watching so many hockey games and, wrestling as well, Breaking Point 2009, things like that. It was amazing to be there, and just the greatest feeling. You just want it over and over and over.
And you mentioned it, and it is what everybody wants to know. How was the catering?
Oh man, top notch. Chicken breasts galore. What else did they have? They had like a prime rib. I remember because I've done extra work at a few different places. Like I did Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, Montreal. And there's different catering for each. I think Montreal takes the cake. I feel like they had the most food. I remember Winnipeg was kind of a little, not lackluster, but they had less. But Montreal, I mean, you could just fill up. Like, that's why these guys are so big, They just come in and, they just eat plate after plate after food. And, it's a delicious food, you want to take some home, It's fantastic.
Well, speaking of, the other extra work you've done, once again, you were a security guard, but for TNA, you had a break part between Josh Alexander and I believe Steve Macklin, no?
Yeah, I did that one. There was also TNA in Ottawa. They were doing tapings for the week. And I believe it was a pull apart with Johnny Impact and Alberto El Patron, and got to be involved in that. And just kind of help out and everything. So really good experience with TNA. What was cool too was that Abyss was the producer for the segment that we did for WWE. And, so I got to talk to him a little bit. And, I said, oh, do you remember doing TNA in Ottawa? And he's like, oh, yeah, because he was the producer for the extras as well for TNA. And I said, oh, I was one of the guys there and stuff. And, he was like, oh, great to have you here, brother. And, so that was pretty cool that he remembered me. It was a good experience with TNA as well. I remember putting up the barbed wire too. It was a barbed wire massacre match. I think it was LAX versus I think it was the Lucha Brothers. And man, like we're putting up the barbed wire and everything, and like that shit's real, bro. Like if you're not careful, you're gonna get tagged. You're gonna get cut. It's the real deal.
That's not working barbed wire. That is shoot barbed wire.
And it's funny. I'll tell you a story too about TNA. Bobby Lashley played a little joke on me, and it was man, it makes you feel bad now. But so we were basically by the ring, and I think it was Abyss came over and was like, if you don't have black pants, go get them on. And if you have black t-shirts, go get those on as well. So we went to go change, and I come back and they're all gone. And Bobby Lashley's like just in the ring. And I'm like, oh, where did everybody go? And they were like, oh, they said get rid of the kid, And I was like, oh, fuck, like, shit, did I do something wrong? Like, and they're like, I don't know. Like, everybody's just kind of playing it straight, right? And Bobby looks down, he's in the ring, and he's just like, not a good start, kid. And oh, fuck, you feel like so small because the whole time you're sort of trying to be on your best behavior and proper and stuff like that, right? Professional, and you just feel like it gets taken away from you in like a second. But it was all just a joke, and everybody was cool. But I remember that whole I'm eating catering, and the fucking guy, like any of the guys, I'd be like, like, what's up, and they'd be like, I don't know, like maybe you did something or whatever. And I'm trying to eat, and they're like, oh, make sure you eat your food, and I couldn't eat. I was fucking so nervous. But it was fun, and it ended up being fun. And then I actually talked to Lashley about it after, and he was totally cool, So it was good. It was a good little rib.
That is, I can't imagine it wasn't, heart dropping at the moment.
Oh yeah, it's like you're on a roller coaster and you hit the drop. You know what I mean? Like your stomach is, or your stomach's in your throat. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh fuck, what did I do? Because everybody's like competitive as an extra too, right? Like we're all trying to see what opportunities that we can get, and everybody is there as a team, but it's individual too, right? So it's like you want to do everything right, and you try, and then something like that happens, and you think, oh fuck, I fucked it up somehow. And you don't even know how you fucked it up. If you did, that's why you're so in your head about it. Because you're like, I don't know what I did, and then sure enough, it's just a rib. And then you laugh about it and you have fun with the boys. And I think too, like in wrestling, you've got to be able to take a rib. The guy that can't take a rib, that's like, it's not cool. You know what I mean? Because it's all in fun. If you get too much about it, then it's like, like, you rib the guys you like. You know what I mean? You joke with the guys you like. It's the same as any other kind of like business or anything. You know what I mean? If you don't like somebody, you're just not going to talk to them. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt good in a way that, it's like, okay, I think they like me if they're ribbing me, I'm hoping anyway.
Right. Well, this was definitely not a rib. You wrestled LuFisto, another well-known, legendary name in the independents. What was that experience like?
Very cool. I wanted to have like her kind of match, you know what I mean? Because she, she's known for hardcore and those kinds of matches and stuff. So I wanted to kind of do that, and I hadn't done too much hardcore up until that point. So that was really cool to be able to work with her. Oh man, I remember there's something that hurt me so bad, and it was my idea. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I was like DVD me on chairs, and they were open. And I think I put two together, and I was going to have her DVD me into the middle of them. And I don't know, man. I guess just the way I hit them or something. But they were like these old metal chairs too, like not even nice bendable like steel chairs. Essentially, these were like these old metal chairs that the venue had that wouldn't give if you hit them with a sledgehammer, you know.
Ouch.
And that's what I remember from that match is just that spot hurting a lot. Crowd reaction was great. I was the heel. And so they loved her. It was easy to get heat on her. The match was really fun. I think we did a table spot as well too. I think it was like a plywood table, and I don't think it broke. And that's the thing too, eh? Like, you know, so you do these indie shows, right? And it's like WWE or AEW, they have like, you know, the proper, I guess you could call them proper tables, you know, the presswood tables or the, you know, whatever tables that are going to break, you know. Sometimes you get to a venue and it's like you have a table that's like reinforced, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, this is what we're using, you know, and it's like, that's what I find funny. Like, and a lot of times people will say like, oh, but the tables are fake, or oh, the ladders are fake, or the chairs. Like, where do you think that you get fake chairs or fake ladders? You know what I mean? Like, there's not a store that you can go buy that. You can't even really gimmick them. So, you know, it's like you're just kind of hoping. Like, people are like, how do you go through a table? It's like, hit it in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, how do you go through a door? You just go through the door. Like, it's not like you're in wrestling school. They're like, okay, today class, we're going to learn how to go through a door. It's like, no, the door's in the corner and you're going to be put through it. You know, like, it's funny the way some, and you know, and that's the thing too. And I always worry if I'm saying too much about kayfabe and stuff like that. I mean, like, in the world of today, you can find everything online. I mean, Unreal, right? That's really pulled back the curtain. I remember as a kid, like, my favorite movie as a kid was Beyond the Mat.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, like, it came on TV and I was like, Mom, like, I gotta watch this. This show's like behind the scenes of wrestling. And, you know, it's almost like a Christmas movie where it's like every year you gotta just once a year watch Beyond the Mat because it's great. So I hope I'm not saying too much to break kayfabe or anything, but I feel like kayfabe at the time, like now, is virtually non-existent. You know what I mean? Like on the other hand, it's like you don't want to sit there and see exactly how every trick is done, but
Right.
you know, there's a line.
No, I get what you mean, but I feel like kayfabe is not necessarily like that anymore. Like, we know that it's a work, you know, that's we've gone through that for a while. I think it's just more on the lines of kayfabe has evolved into, do we think it's actually kayfabe, or was this actually kayfabe, or, you know,
Yeah,
kayfabe is questioning reality, in my opinion. So, I mean, like, going through a door, like, I mean, there's not a lot that you could, you know, kayfabe about that. You know, but I'm, like you said, there's a door, you're going through it. There's not a lot to
yeah,
talk about it.
exactly.
But, like, you know, like Unreal, I would say it's, you know, you question if that is something that is, you know, a real behind the scenes, you know, show, or if it is just gimmick for TV.
Right. Yeah, there's always that. Are they making storylines and matches just to, you know, kind of serve Unreal? You know,
Right.
you know, I haven't seen this season. I've been meaning to watch it. I think some of it is on like Cena's career and his retirement and stuff. So that'll be interesting to see. I enjoyed the other seasons. Because as a wrestler, the more that I can kind of understand how everything is working, and then my own, like, seeing what I've seen backstage, whether it be doing extra work or things that I've heard or seen or whatever, I just want to be immersed in the product and, you know, learn as much as I can so that, you know, when I am there, I will be, you know, pretty much able to hopefully know and do as much as possible that anybody needs. You know what I mean? It's like if you want to do something, you're going to go to school and learn about it. So it's the same sort of thing. I want to learn as much as I can about the business, and whether it be booking or whether it be from a technical standpoint or creative standpoint or, anything. I just want to be immersed in it.
Well, speaking of, shows that you've been on, you were a part of Dark Side of the Ring. You got to be a part of the Bash at the Beach episode, I believe. Can you tell us
Yes.
about that experience, being a part of Dark Side?
Yeah, I mean, the first time they reached out, I thought it was a joke because, I'm kind of thinking in my head, like, why do they want me? You know what I mean? And I had never heard of Dark Side of the Ring at the time. This was like, I think maybe no, sorry. The first one was Tales from the Territories, which was produced by the Rocks Company, $7 Productions. And I got to play Buddy Roberts of the Freebirds. So going down there and kind of meeting everybody, and then after that, I auditioned for the role of Jeff Jarrett. They said that they were interested in using me, and they asked me to send a photo and a promo. And so I tried to make myself look like Jeff Jarrett the best I could with the sunglasses and the hair and everything. And so that when they would see it, hopefully they would be like, oh, there's our guy. And that pretty much worked in my favor. And then, it's a really amazing cast and crew. It seems to be a lot of the same people all the time, which is really nice. It seems like a big family there. Whether it's wrestlers or actors or whatever, but a lot of times it's people, so it's a lot of fun. And doing Jeff Jarrett was really cool. I got to work with Rob Rage, who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago due to a heart attack. And so getting to be, getting to work with him and everything was great. And just kind of, he was an indie wrestler. And you'd see him at shows and you'd say maybe hi and bye, but I got to kind of talk to him and get to know him a little bit more than just kind of on the surface level. And it was really great to be able to work with him. And like I said, the cast and the directors, Jason and Evan, they really love wrestling and they are very passionate about the show, and you can see that. And I'm, really, really happy to be a part of that show. And I've been able to do a lot with it, which is amazing. And I hope to continue that.
And I mean, you wasn't just a part of, a random part of pro wrestling. You were in you got to reenact one of the most infamous moments in WCW history, where
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett laid down for Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that moment like, reenacting such, like I said, an infamous moment when it comes to pro wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, just laying there and just having like the camera and how we were doing everything, and you really feel like you're reenacting a piece of wrestling history, and it's very exciting. And the way they shoot it, and and then going back and watching, and feeling how the episode was, and what they used as those takeaways and stuff. It was a very, very cool moment. Very honored to be able to be a small part of that show, and to be involved in, like you said, such an infamous moment in WCW history, or actually in wrestling in general. I mean, that was the catalyst for a lot of things.
I mean, you're not wrong, for sure. Now, you actually got to compete in Mexico. What was that experience, wrestling, in one of the, biggest places to actually do it?
Very, very surreal. They treat you like a star over there. It was so much fun. going like, so I had done a show in Montreal and they had brought in a lot of luchadors and stuff. It was a lucha show. And I met those guys and they were saying, oh, anytime, you want to come to Mexico, let us know. And, it's one of those where you say like, oh yeah, I'd love to. And, this and that. And then I ended up having a friend that was going down. So I jumped on the opportunity and, just to view the culture and just to enjoy the food. The food was amazing in Mexico. I think that's one of the things I miss the most, and how much love and, passion they have for wrestling, how sacred it is. Getting to be in La Parca's gym and train and learn some lucha techniques and stuff was very, very cool. Being able to represent Canada was very exciting and got to have the Canadian flag. And it was something that I'll cherish for, the rest of my life, definitely a long, long time. And I hope to go back. Rings are stiff. That's why guys roll everything. But an amazing atmosphere to be a part of that.
What were some of the differences you saw in the crowd walking, in Mexico compared to the crowds in Canada?
Crowd wise, they are, I don't know if I want to say more into it, but they get really into it. Like I remember, so the promoter, like I expected that I was going to be a face down there, right? And they didn't want me to wear a mask. They wanted me to show my face. So, I was like, sure. And, I was wrestling a guy by the name of Epidemius, and he's a Mexican wrestler. He's been wrestling for a long time. And obviously coming in and wrestling him, he's going to be the face because they all know him, right? So they wanted me to be heel. And it was so funny because the promoter, he comes to me and I don't know Spanish. Like, I mean, maybe a little bit of like broken Spanish that I could try to get by, but I can't have like a fluid conversation or anything. And so anyway, he comes to me and he's telling me he wants me to take these tortillas and like throw them at the fans and call them names. And I'm like, okay. And he doesn't have the tortillas at this point. He's just telling me this. This is like before kind of the show and stuff. And some of the other guys were telling me in English, what he wanted. Like, yeah, he wants you to throw the tortillas, And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. You're just kind of like nodding. You don't really know what's up. And so then the match is about to start, and the promoter comes to me with a bag of hot tortillas. And I'm like, what? And he like, I'm like, oh shit, like we're fucking doing this. And he's like, yeah, here. He's like, you throw them at the fans and call them names, call them puta and indios and chingos y madre and like all that stuff, which is, vulgar words in Spanish.
Of course.
And yeah, so you're calling them like bitch and stuff like that. And so anyway, so I go out and I'm just kind of doing what I'm told. And at first I come out and they cheer me because they're like, oh, he's Canadian and whatever. They don't really have a reason to boo me. And then I pull out this bag of tortillas and I'm fucking just whipping them at the fans. And now they're starting to boo me because now they get it. I'm saying, come on, puta. I was like, you don't have the guts, essay, and stuff like that. And this one guy grabs a bottle and he's like threatening to throw this bottle at me. And in character, I'm like, come on, puto, throw it. You don't have the guts and stuff like that. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, please don't throw this bottle at me because it's like glass. And I don't know if I'm going to fucking duck it or what. But it was all good. They understood, you know what I mean? I felt bad because I was like, fuck, like here I am just, ripping on these, on Spanish people and stuff. But it got me heat. And the match went well, and you could tell that they understood that it was all for the show. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, I don't know how rowdy they get. I would say too that they're definitely a more rowdy audience than, Canadian or American. Very passionate people, and very, very good people. I can't say enough about the people of Mexico that, really helped us while we were there, really. But yeah, as far as the crowds go, I would say definitely more rowdy.
Now, we've talked about a lot of the fantastic things that you've done in your career.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the more odd things that you've done. Can you tell
Mm-hmm.
us about being in the ring with the Trailer Park Boys?
Oh yeah, that was great. So I do a decent Bubbles impression from the Trailer Park Boys. I've been doing it since I was a kid, and I loved the show. It was one of my favorite shows that I ever watched or whatever. And so anyway, getting to do that was super exciting. The company was Project X, and they were bringing in Sam Losco of the Trailer Park Boys, and it was at like a Comic-Con event, and it was going to be like me and Sam Losco against Spenny from Kenny versus Spenny and another wrestler. And it was funny because like they don't understand our business really like at all. Like, you know what I mean? They don't really know our world. It's not like you're gonna plan spots with Spenny or Sam or whatever. And that's why obviously they want to have wrestlers there so that we can kind of, keep the match on track and everything, because otherwise it would just go to shit.
Right.
But it was so funny. So Sam was super cool. We hung out with Sam for most of the day. My girlfriend and I were there and stuff, and he couldn't have been more nice. Spenny was interesting. So Spenny, so the whole time Spenny's like, I don't want to lose. I'm not fucking losing. And he's like, my back hurts. I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to do anything. So we're like, okay. So they had made this whole thing. And I don't know if you know the show Kenny versus Spenny. Have you ever seen it?
I don't believe I have.
Okay, well, just to give you just a little backstory, it's basically a TV show where Kenny and Spenny, they're two friends, and they battle against each other in competitions just to see who is better, essentially. And the loser has to do a humiliation. So that could be, I don't know. There's just so many humiliations. I'm trying to think of one. They're all kind of gross. I don't know if I want to lick bird poop off a windshield. Just the first one that popped into my head. But so it's almost like a bit like Jackass, and it's a Canadian show from Toronto. But the funniest thing about it is that Kenny always cheats to beat Spenny. And you never know how he's going to cheat, but he finds a way to cheat. And that's kind of to me, that's the comedy of the show. So getting back to the match now, Spenny said, I don't want to lose and my back hurts and this and that, right? So he's hemming and hawing. And so the whole time Sam's like, all right, okay, fine. Like, you're going to win and, whatever. And, he's like, okay. And then like, they're going to screw Spenny over. Like, they're going to make him think the whole time that he's going to win. And then they're totally just going to change it on him and pin him 1, 2, 3. And they didn't tell Spenny about that at all. I knew about it. Sam knew about it. And I'm pretty sure Spenny's partner knew about it. And when we get in the ring, so there's a guy named James Runyon. So me and James, we kind of start the match. And, we have a bit of a wrestling match and stuff. And when Sam gets in there, like, he doesn't know how to wrestle, and neither does Spenny. So they're just kind of beating the shit out of each other. And we kind of loosely put it together. But at the very end, Spenny thinks that he's going to win, and Sam just like rolls him up, and the referee no, not even rolls him up. I think he just like laid on him and like held him there for 3 seconds. And it was so funny. And it felt like you were on an episode of Kenny versus Spenny, which to me was the best part. And me being Bubbles at one point, because Bubbles has a wrestling character on the TV show, and it's the Green Bastard. And he comes out in a mask, and he's got like a green long sleeve on that says GB and duct tape. And he's got like a garbage bag for a cape and stuff. Because the Trailer Park Boys, right? So nothing is expensive. It's all supposed to be shitty. Like the more shitty it is, the funnier it is, right? So I came out as Bubbles, but then I ripped off my shirt and I became the Green Bastard and kind of like hulked up. And the crowd, like some people were like, "Oh fuck, it's the Green Bastard!" Like people were getting behind it and stuff. So I kind of hulked up, made a comeback, and then we go into the finish, and then Spenny loses, and he's all pissed off. And then I got to talk with Kenny, who was there as well, and he was like, "Oh man, that was great." He's like, "You guys were awesome." He's like, "You should have told me that you guys were fucking over Spenny. I had to come in and beat him up too." And I was like, "That'd have been perfect." Oh, because there's one episode where it's like who's the better wrestler, and they have trainers, and Spenny's trainer is Tyson Dukes, and Kenny's trainer is Celine Gion, which is a professional wrestler here in Toronto. And the whole time Spenny thinks everything is cool, but they all double cross him at the end, and it's fucking hilarious. Like even Tyson turns on his partner. Oh, and Spenny's like, I want to get juice. So fucking Tyson, get some color. And so Spenny's all bleeding, and he's like, what the fuck is going on? Stop it, Tyson. And he's like freaking out. And it's so funny. I urge anybody to go watch that if they want to have a good laugh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not the last time you was the Green Bastard. There was a match where you teamed with Pretty Ricky?
Yeah, that was for Off the Ropes. It was Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles. And so Pretty Ricky was Ricky, and then I was Bubbles, and then we had another guy, Bruce Thunderstein, as Julian. Julian has bigger muscles, but Bruce did a pretty good job. And the funny thing is, Julian always has a drink in his hand, and he spills it. Like he drives with it, he walks with it, runs with it, shoots a gun with it, like whatever's needed for the show. He always has a rum and coke. So Bruce the whole time is making a comeback with this drink in his hand, and that was great. He's trying not to spill it in the ring. So it was fun. And then for the finish, I did like a big splash off the top rope, and I put the green garbage bag around my neck like the cape, and big splash off the top rope. So yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
I think it's time for Ryan's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
A road story?
Yes.
And fits what description? Sorry, like something weird that happened on the road?
Crazy, and or bizarre.
Oh man. Okay. I like to tell this story. I wrestled in a ladder match, and I ended up separating my shoulder in it, and I had to get taken to the hospital and stuff. But Speedball Mike Bailey was in the match with me and came to the hospital. And I'm there, and I'm all drugged up at this point. They've given me some, I'm feeling no pain at this point. And there's like a nurse, or who I thought was a nurse, was like, "Would you like some Jello and a yogurt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love a Jello and a yogurt." And so I take it, and they ask Speedball, and he's like, no, I'm fine, thank you. And I was like, oh man, you really should have had that Jello and that yogurt. It was fantastic. And he's like, dude, she doesn't even work here. It's just like a patient. But I was so gone. So I was driving us home. This is in Montreal, and I drive a standard, like a manual standard car, and at the time anyway. And so I was to drive us there and back, and because I got hurt, I couldn't drive, and I was all drugged up, so I had to teach Speedball how to drive a standard car. and I'm just gone. And I'm like, okay, put your foot on the clutch. I was like, okay, start the car, keep your foot on the clutch, shift to first, let up the clutch, and it stalls. And I'm like, you did it too fast. And so he's driving us back to his place, and he's like, just barely getting it, but he's getting it, you know? And so he's driving us, and I'm just gone in the passenger seat. That was a funny and bizarre road story. I'm trying to think if anything else comes to mind.
I would definitely say it was an experience for Speedball, to say the least.
Yeah, it was for sure. You can ask him about it; he'll remember that. Man, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really comes to mind. Like just being in the car, we went down and did like a road trip to Philadelphia to do Mike Quackenbush seminar. It was like me, Frank Milano, Matthew Basato, who's Matt Viviani, and oh my God, what was his name? John. He doesn't wrestle anymore. I can't remember his name. But anyway, so just driving around after like the seminar and almost running out of gas in Philadelphia was sketchy as hell. We got to the gas station with 3 kilometers left on the, well, like it said 3 on the gas gauge, and we had like just pulled in. So we almost ran out of gas. Another time I let Ryan Rogan drive my car, and it was standard too, and he was blowing through all the tolls in New Jersey, and I was like, oh shit. But we never got any tolls. Like we never got ticketed or anything. And then we were in Manhattan, and we were driving through, and we had gone where like the fast passes are. We didn't realize. And we get to the thing, and they're like, all right, where's your fast pass? And we're like, I don't know, we're from Canada. He's like, all right, $12 and you can go across. Like, we don't know what's going on. But yeah, those are some of the road stories that come to mind.
But definitely bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about Disaster at Sea?
That was another production that I got to be a part of. It's non-wrestling related. It's basically like re-dramatization of if there's like shipwrecks. So the episode that I did, there was 3 guys trying to cross a body of water in Scotland. And I guess they were drinking all night on the boat. And where the life preservers were, if the boat sank, they had messed up the life preservers and they didn't fully have them proper, and so they fell asleep and water got into the boat, and they were trying to see what they could do, and they ended up having to jump off the boat, and I believe only one of them survived, but these are all real stories. And so I played like a rescue team member. So, we had the helicopter to lift people to safety. And, checking, we found the guy who had survived, and we were trying to give him CPR and stuff like that. But again, just a really good experience. I've been grateful to have a lot of good experiences within the acting world, whether it be background or main feature, a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. I think it's time for the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you.
Okay.
Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
Oh man. That's a hard question. Holy crap. Well, people say I look a lot like Sean William Scott, so I'd probably have him play me, and it'd probably be like, oh man, fuck, that's hard. The first 3 songs. So kind of like songs that describe me. Probably some 41 Fat Lip. I love that song, and that song just speaks to me. I like that Scotty Doesn't Know too. And man, maybe Lose Yourself by Eminem, I would say, because you only get one shot, one opportunity. This is everything you ever wanted, so don't fuck it up.
Oh yeah. And it's definitely a solid 3 picks. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows we get the soundtrack first, then we write the script, and then we go to casting. You already
Right.
casted yourself.
Sorry.
Already ahead of the game. You're fine.
My bad.
But every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Man, the cast that would be in the movie? Oh, man. Oh, man, the cast that would be in my movie. Like, are these just people I like as actors, or...
No, well, you're casting the people important to you in your story that would be in your movie. So the people that made, you who you are, and then the actors that would play them.
Oh, okay. Man, that's tough. Because you're trying to think of, like, who these people would be. Well, I mean, like, my mom, she was an only child, and she did the best she could for me. She never wanted me to be a pro wrestler, but ever since that I am, she's been nothing but supportive. Who would play her? I don't know, like Susan Sarandon or something. Like, I don't know. She's got dark hair. Oh my God. My girlfriend has been very supportive of me, and I love her dearly. So she would be in there for sure. Oh my God, who would play her? I have no idea. Wow, that is really tough. Put me on the spot here. Man, let me come back to who would play her. Friends would be... Well, growing up, it'd be Brennan, Ross, and Mark were like my 3 best friends, and they'd be Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles. Because we love the Trailer Park Boys, and those guys are basically them. They're really country, and that's where I kind of grew up. My first trainer, Wayne, was the first one that really ever, took a chance on me. I always thought I'd be too small for wrestling, but he said, come to my school and check it out and all that stuff. And he's like a big, huge guy. He looks like Mr. Clean, kind of, like, but jacked. Like, he was huge. So trying to think of somebody like big, bald, jacked. Oh my God. Like The Rock or something, we'll say Dwayne Johnson for him, but Dwayne's a little darker than him.
I think he'll appreciate having The Rock play him.
Yeah, like he looks like Jason Statham if Jason Statham was 300 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, he's jacked and he's big.
I feel like Jason Statham would transform for that role.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah.
And
have you thought about an actress for your girlfriend, or would you like to leave that up to casting?
Man, I'm trying to think of a good, because I don't want to like do her wrong, you know what I mean? Like,
right. This is literally the most important question.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Oh man, I'm trying to think. That's tough. She's beautiful, so I gotta pick somebody good here. Maybe like Jennifer Gardner or something like that. She has like, long brown reddish hair. Yeah, we'll go Jennifer Gardner.
I would say that's a safe choice. Now that we have, this is sounding like a great movie, a blockbuster to say the least.
Jason the Rock, Susan Sarandon. What was the Jennifer Gardner? Man, stars in full Donovan.
And you could pre-order the ticket now.
Hell yeah, I'd watch it. And then the main character would be me, played by Sean William Scott.
Hell yeah. Now on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I like it. I'm a pineapple on pizza kind of guy. I think it adds flavor, it adds texture. I'm about it.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh man. People are gonna hate me, but I never really like Charizard. He was like my favorite as a kid, was the dragon Charizard.
Alright. Well, I mean, there's no shame in the OGs.
Yeah.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know?
Oh, cool.
Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
I don't. It doesn't come to my mind.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a Doug can't spell.
Nice. I
Yes,
gotta remember that.
we love the late great Tracy Smothers, trying to keep the memory
Yeah.
alive on the show.
Amazing.
Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview? Hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
How big is the Rock?
It's around the size of a shoe.
Like I can pick it up and I can do stuff with it.
Yes.
Why not? Sure. I feel like if the Rock hits you once, though, you're done. Like there's not even a false finish there. It's like you're just out. The whole match would be trying to avoid getting hit by the Rock.
Well, just for context, there's somebody that you've actually been in the ring with. Psycho Mike actually wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match
Nice.
that lasts for 2 weeks.
Wow. I can see it. If there's one guy to do it, it'd be him.
Yes. It's an incredible feat only that Mike can do.
Yeah, exactly. He can make anything good, anything funny.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself working for a major company, whether it be MLP, maybe TNA. I see myself working more in the States, being able to test myself as some of the best wrestlers in the world. And yeah, I see myself, my goal right now is MLP. I feel like that is a great launching pad for a lot of Canadians. Because we don't live in the United States, it's very hard for us to make a name. And that is a platform that has been given by Scott D'Amore to Canadians that I couldn't be more excited about.
Hell yeah. And what match would you recommend people go see that best shows off you as a pro wrestler?
There's a couple that come to mind. I mean, Casey Navarro was really good, and showcased myself as a wrestler. Character wise, at the CNE, I wrestled Nova, who's a wrestler in Canada and everything. And some people are against intergender matches, but I was really proud of it. I put the match together with her structure wise. And we had the best match. The promoter said that he had ever seen at the CNE, so that was really cool. And to be able to take her on a good match like that and have the audience kind of on a roller coaster up and down, and enjoying the match the whole way through. And then I had I'm trying to think of all my matches. Recently, I had a really good match with Tyler Knox from SVW in Cornwall, Ontario. And I feel like every match I'm getting better. Every match is kind of my next best match, I feel. But those are two that come to mind. I got to wrestle Speedball Mike Bailey back in, I think it was 2018, and I would love to be able to wrestle him again now when I feel like I have more experience under my belt. But at the time, that was one of my best matches. I've gotten to wrestle, a lot of really good talent. But yeah, those are the ones that come to mind. There's another one with Evil Uno as well from C4 back in the day. That was really good, and that was really fun. And he helped me so much with that match, so. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Can we find these matches on YouTube?
Yeah.
Then I will grab one or two from YouTube and put it in the link to in the video, in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview.
Yeah, the one with Casey Navarro is on Destiny's YouTube. The one with Tyler Knox is on my YouTube. I don't know about the Speedball one and Evil Uno. I'd have to look. I think it was filmed. I'm not sure. It could be somewhere in the archives of like IWTV. So it's might be a little bit harder to find those two.
I gotcha. Well, your YouTube will be in the description of the video below, so everybody will be able to bench watch all your matches after the interview.
Amazing. Please come watch. Let me know your thoughts. Give me a link, a follow. Or sorry, not a link, a like, a follow.
Absolutely. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh boy, okay.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Oh my god. Shawn Michaels.
Worst wrestler.
Holy smokes. Oh my god. Mondo from WCW back in the day. He had there's those Mondo botches on YouTube, and he was awful. But I feel bad to say that, but yeah, him.
And that is the correct answer.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, he was our default answer for a long time.
Oh, wow. Has other people said him too?
Yes. So many, again, he became our default answer. But not too long
That's
ago.
awesome.
Not too long ago, he fell in bad health, and it just felt like poor taste to kind of keep continuing that.
Oh, well, I feel really bad then, and I didn't realize that he's in bad health. So I wish him good health and good fortune.
You're totally fine.
Okay.
We personally will just don't keep it as our default anymore. Because that's
Fair
bad
enough.
taste for us. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Randy Orton.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Jeff Hardy.
Which one?
Oh man, probably the original. Just that. Yeah, because I mean, like that was my jam. He was my idol as a kid.
I gotcha. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Dead.
we
Not fully dead, but it's creeping. It's like the Undertaker, whenever he was buried alive by mankind, but he's popping up through the dirt with the hand and the purple glove.
we would have also
You know what I mean? Like it's not dead. It's not dead, but it's fucking underground and it's just barely hanging on.
It's definitely the description.
Yeah.
We would have also accepted tastes great on toast. Squash.
Oh no.
Squash. Vegetable
On
or fruit?
toast? Oh, vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds.
Oh, really?
Tomato-like.
It's indeed nasty, I'll tell you that.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Where you just get a little bit of the cheek showing, but it's not hanging out. It's all tucked in there, but there might be just a peak showing.
Okay. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Not about Darby Allin, but I can tell you a funny little story. When I was young, my mom, if you want to hear it, my mom, she you know how like moms are, it's like they don't really give a shit until something like happens. So like she knew like wrestling, but she didn't really think like that much of it. I used to watch it and I would kind of just not really watch it in front of her, just in general. And you know, I really like DX and everything. And I was at a store and I was young, I was probably like 7, and my mom's in line and they had the magazines right by the cash. So I started taking out a magazine. I started looking at it and everything. And this old lady, or I should say elderly, not old, elderly lady was like, "Oh, wow, you like wrestling, eh?" She's like, "My grandson loves wrestling." And I said, "Yeah, suck it." And my mom turned around and she goes, "Right." She goes, "I'm so sorry." She's like, "Where did you hear that?" And I was like, "Well, it's wrestling, Mom. It's DX, you know?" And then she sat down and watched the show with me, and I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling after that.
And going back to it, no, have not have had a conversation about Darby Allin.
No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Yeah, it was great.
And once again, where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
So Instagram, that's going to be at @full_Donavon, DONAVON. Yes, I spell it differently. And then on Facebook, just Ryan Donovan. Merchandise is going to be sold at your nearest show. If you're looking for an 8x10 as of right now, you can inbox me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll be able to ship that out to you.
And you don't even have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castback. Simply click the link, a new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Give him a damn follow and buy a damn shirt.
Come on, yeah, let's go. I'm also going to try to get my stuff in Pro Wrestling Tees. I just waiting for these shirts to come in. So, and they are one of the first designs is actually going to be that full Donovan that you see as my display picture. I think that is a T-shirt it's going to rock. So,
Hell yeah. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Alright, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
okay.
For our special guest, Ryan Full Donovan, Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling Wit
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.